Punjabi
Prabhupada ki jai. I'll just recite the prayers first. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamahyam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sahajatam Sarvanathanitam Samsadiv Sadvaitam Savadutam Pajna Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Shri Radha Krishna Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudidevi Pranamami Hari Vachakalpatarubhyascha Vachakalpatarubhyascha Kapasana Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Karoti Vachalam Bhaktam Kirti Yat Kripatamam Bande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramanandamam Shri Chaitanya Just a moment opening. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Ayatayam, I'll just quickly do. Ayatayamas tasyasan yamasvantadayapana shinvato dhyayato Vishnu kurvato bruvata katha. Ayatayama, time never lost. Tasya, of Manu, Asan, word, Yamaha, the hours, Swaantara, the duration of his life, his duration of life, sorry. Yapanaha, bringing to an end. Shinvata, hearing. Dhyayata, contemplating. Vishnu, of Lord Vishnu. Kurvataha, acting. Bruvataha, speaking. Katha, the topics. Translation. Consequently, although his duration of life gradually came to an end, his long life, consisting of an Manvantar era, was not spent in vain, since he was engaged in hearing, contemplating, writing down, and chanting the pastimes of the Lord. Wow, amazing. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charana Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. As freshly prepared food is very tasteful, but if kept for 3 or 4 hours, it becomes stale and tasteless. So the existence of material enjoyment can endure as long as life is fresh. But at the fag end of life, everything becomes tasteless and everything appears to be vain and painful. The life of Emperor Swayambhu Manu, however, was not tasteless. As he grew older, his life remained as fresh as in the beginning because of his continued Krishna consciousness. The life of a man in Krishna consciousness is always fresh. It is said that the sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening, and its business is to reduce the duration of everyone's life. But the sunrise and sunset cannot diminish the life of one who engages in Krishna consciousness. Swayambhu Manu's life did not become stale after some time, for he engaged himself always in chanting about and meditating upon Lord Vishnu. He was the greatest yogi because he never wasted his time. It is especially mentioned here, Vishnu Kurvato Bruvata Katha. When he talked only of Krishna and Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. When he heard something, it was about Krishna. When he meditated, it was about Krishna and his activities. It is said that his life was very long, 71 yugas. One yuga is completed in 4,320,000 years, and 71 of such yugas is the duration of the life of a Manu, and 14 such Manus come and go in one day of Brahma. For the entire duration of his life, 4,320,000 times 71 years, Manu engaged in Krishna consciousness by chanting, hearing, talking about, and meditating upon Krishna. Therefore, his life was not wasted, nor did it become stale. So, today is a very auspicious occasion, and I didn't plan to speak today. So many other exalted devotees I asked, but unfortunately they were not able to speak. So I only beg the blessings of everyone. Actually, I took some food dust of some devotee before the class started. So this is my only hope. Only hope is the food dust of the devotees. So so actually this is a very special time. It's a very special occasion, special time in the history of this temple, you can say, quote unquote, because in our temple, I don't know if it's the first devotee or you can say one of the first devotees actually went back to Godhead. So it's a very auspicious and very serious point. And Srila Radha Maharaj glorified Mataji by saying that her life was very exemplary. And if you try to see her life, although yes, she did many things, but if someone really has to say it is something exemplary, then that means consciousness is exemplary. So that's the most important thing. It's the most difficult thing to maintain. So it's great teaching by example, and it's very inspiring also that katam chana smrite yasmin dushkaram sakaram bhavet vismrite vivritam syat Sri Chaitanya Namamito. So even the most difficult thing can become the easiest situation if we simply remember Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So today is the appearance day of Shri Shri Nitaya Patitipavan Gaura Hari. So it's of course yes, Yungsho Prabhu actually Shri Shri Radha Gopishna Vada Pitapadam Gauri Jod Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So Yungsho Prabhu was the one who actually brought them here, and he brought, of course, Radha Bhushan also. I mean, can just imagine how much devotion he has, how deep his devotion is to bring them here. It's not easy. It's not easy, and it's only because of the quality of his devotion that everything is happening. See, desire is the main thing. So there is a pure desire, then Krishna arranges devotees to assist someone, a very exalted devotee in that pure desire. So it's very difficult to have pure desire, actually, devoid of, many times people make temples for themselves, for so many other reasons, even in the name of Krishna. But when one's heart is throbbing, crying to serve Krishna, to please Krishna, only then does Krishna manifest in this way. So, all glories to him. Um, so, this verse is very instructive. I've quoted this verse many times in Bhagavatam class. Tadeva ramyam ruchiram navam navam tadeva shashvam manaso bhosam tadeva shokaya shoshanam tadeva shokarnava shoshanam nrinam yadutama shloka yashonugiyate. So Krishna and Krishna's activities are ever fresh and they are very, very attractive. Rama, the goddess of fortune, Prabhupada says so many times, she is actually, or you can say, the goddess of goddesses is Srimati Radharani. Sarvadevi Mahi Prokta Radhika Paradevata. She is a Paradevata. She is the uh, transcendental uh, personality, the ultimate source of all devis, all consorts of the Lord is Srimati Radharani. So their katha, their lila is very, very attractive. Uh, their name is very attractive. Their form is very attractive. Their pastime is very attractive, and their devotees also very attractive. So very, very attractive. So ramyam, tadeva ram, ruchiram navam navam. So what is the quality? That at every step, the quality of the taste, the quality of attraction keeps increasing. Isn't it amazing? Have you ever had anything in our life? Suppose, Rohinandan Prabhu, I gave him gulab jamun. And is it possible there is such a gulab jamun that with every bite, the taste, the sweetness increases? Is it possible? No, it's not possible. It's only possible in the spiritual world. I mean, initially it may be possible because of our intense eagerness, but after some time, we come to understand it's just our eagerness. It's just our the mind. But of course, prasad is say Rohinana too can relish prasad. That's Rohinana. So Ruchiram Navam Navam, it's increasing in its newness, in its taste. And uh, Tadeva Ramyam Chiram Navam Navam, Tadeva Ramyam Chiram Navam Navam. And the next line is Mahotsavam. The pastimes of the Lord is actually a festival for the mind. So the quality of the katha, quality of the pastimes of the Lord keeps increasing with every word, and uh, it becomes a festival for the mind. The mind is in festival mode, and then tadeva shokarnava shoshanam rinam. So whatever shoka is there, shosharnava rinam, whatever shoka, what is lamentation and hankering, these two things, they disappear. And yet uttama shloka yashona giyate. One keeps singing. So it is said that, like when someone hears the pastimes of the Lord, so what is the process of hearing the pastimes of the Lord? So wonderfully explained in Srimad Bhagavatam and Prabhupada's purports. Uh, there is nothing sweeter than that in this whole world. It's just astounding sweetness. Like if we study Bhagavatam very sincerely, we consider Madheka Bandhu. Bhagavatam is my only friend. Like we see, like Mataji left. So I mean, I was just thinking of myself at that point. If I'm alone, leaving this world. So who's a friend? Who can help us? But Bhagavatam, Madheka Bandhu. Bhagavatam is saying, I'm your only friend. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that Ami Vina Bandhu Aat Kiya Chitho. He's telling, tell me, do you have such friend in this material world like me? Huh? I came, Mahaprabhu is telling, I came to deliver you. I just came for this purpose. I didn't come for any other purpose. Can you tell me of such friend? So, Lord and Lord's pure devotees, they are only friend. And it is intelligence to make friendship with them. It is intelligence. So, the process of relishing the passion of the Lord is first of all, Prabhupada says, intelligence, using our intelligence to control our mind. So, which means using spiritual intelligence to direct the mind. Second thing Prabhupada says is to withdraw from sensual engagements. So, I am practically practicing activities which any activity according to Shastra. And I know I don't do this, I aspire to do this, but practicing all our daily activities according to Shastra. Like, just for the sake of context, sometimes I talk with devotees, and devotees say that we have disagreements. Like in a family, they say have disagreements. And I say that why you have disagreement. So then they would present their thoughts. I said, Prabhupada never says this. Like whatever you're saying, Prabhupada never said this. So that's why the best way to resolve all problems is to, first of all, we have to read what Prabhupada is saying and just follow what Prabhupada says. We don't have to add, we don't have to subtract anything. Like, Prabhupada doesn't say so many things. So, of course, it's our personal choice if we want to do, but it doesn't become like a rule just because we want it. So that's where it creates so many problems. Like for example, yes, like fasting on Ekadashi is good, someone can do it, but Prabhupada never insisted you have to fast Nirjala on Ekadashi. Prabhupada never insisted you have to. So if someone doesn't fast and you go and tell them you're in Maya, this is not. So what you're doing, you're actually not following what Prabhupada is saying. And you're unnecessarily creating disturbance in that person's mind. Or another way is you actually put, uh, so-called dharmic or so-called Hindu principles, quote unquote, into, another person's life. Or, like Prabhupada even, used to, what is that? Prabhupada himself, he would wake up, I mean, after he would translate the whole night, he would wash his hands, mouth, and feet, and he would begin chanting. So Prabhupada never said that anywhere Prabhupada said that, oh, in order to chant, you have to take bath, you have to. Prabhupada never made such strict conditions. Um, so if we impose unnecessarily strict conditions, which Prabhupada did not say, then it creates disturbance in someone else's life. So that's why in a family, in a community, what we do to allow sanity, to make sure people are in same condition, peaceful condition, is to follow what Prabhupada says. So just follow as it is. No need to change. So that makes life, because see, Prabhupada is such a genius. He knew how to inspire expansion, inspire increase in Krishna consciousness, but at the same time, he also gave ample room for those who are finding it a little difficult. So Prabhupada did both at the same time. So if you just follow Srila Prabhupada, that's all that's required, nothing more. So coming back to the point, so controlling the mind with spiritual intelligence, restricting sensual engagements, and finally, if we do these two things properly, what will be the result? Our heart will become soft. Heart will become soft means what? Which means when we see the Lord, when we see the Lord's consort, we'll feel something in our heart. We'll feel their qualities. Like Narottam Das Thakur is saying, oh Radha, oh Krishna, you are so kind-hearted and so charming. Please cast your glance on me. So when we see the deity, actually seeing the deity is very powerful. It's very powerful. Um, Yesterday, I was reading again in the Chitraketu pastimes. I was reading about the process of seeing the deity. This is amazing. And like we all pay obeisances so many times, right? But what is the way to pay obeisances? So just a moment, I'm just pulling it up. Yeah. If one regularly sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the temple, one will gradually be disinfected of all material desire simply by visiting the temple and seeing the deity. So powerful. One will gradually be disinfected of all material desires simply by visiting the temple and seeing the deity. When one is freed from all the sinful results, when one is freed from all the results of sinful activities, one will be purified, and with a healthy mind completely cleansed, he will increasingly make progress in Krishna consciousness. So this is about seeing the deity, this is the power of seeing the deity. And this is an actual obeisance. Prabhupada practically demonstrated how to be obeisant. What does it mean to be obeisance? Not on this platform, but again, I'm just reading. This is 6 Canto, 16 chapter, 31st verse. Translation. As soon as Maharaj Chitraketu saw the Supreme Lord, he was cleansed of all material contamination and situated in his original Krishna consciousness, being completely purified. He became silent and grave, and because of love for the Lord, tears fell from his eyes and his hair stood on end. With great devotion and love, he offered his respectful obeisances unto the original personality of Godhead. So, this is a real obeisance that Prabhupada himself demonstrated. Then Prabhupada would see the deity very respectfully, and Prabhupada's eyes was always with tears. I mean, whether he was in front, so tears, and Prabhupada was very contemplative, very silent, very grave, and then in that condition fell down, offering obeisances just like a rod. So this is the way to pay obeisances, and I mean, we don't have to manifest tears, of course, and it's not recommended because in order to not to attract public attention, etc., etc. But the point is, when we appreciate sincerely the Lord and with the intense desire to serve Him, we pay obeisances with great devotion and with whatever devotion we have. I mean, love is a big word, but devotion. So this is very, very powerful, very powerful. Seeing the deities is very powerful, and chanting the holy name is very powerful. So this newness, how do we experience this newness, this freshness? Like Prabhupada says in lectures that if you're not feeling happy in Krishna consciousness, it means you're in Maya. It means it's an attack of Maya. I'm speaking for myself. So how do we feel it? So it all depends on the consciousness. And what is the key to the consciousness? In this age of Kali, what is the key to consciousness? The key to consciousness is two things. First thing is, of course, chanting the holy name. But how do we chant? With a humble mood. So these two things are the key to consciousness in this. They're expanding our consciousness in this age of Kali. So when the consciousness is proper, then like Prabhupada also said, when you see the deities and you're not happy, it means something is wrong. Something is wrong. We should be very much concerned. So that's also one time Prabhupada said. So coming to again, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Udila Aruna Gaurava Bhagi Dvijamani Me Arun Amani Jage. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came just to showcase, to practice, to preach, to preach by practicing or to show by his own example how to practice Krishna consciousness. So this is very, very wonderful. The Lord, this is not coming as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not an um, you can say temporary expansion. It's not that Krishna came down from Golok Vrindavan as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after this material world's activities, they finish. No, there is an eternal Navadvip. Navadvip is there, uh, and those who are fortunate uh, can see the pastimes, can see the eternal pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are very, very sweet, very enchanting, um, but only those who are fortunate can actually see the uppercut Leela. So this is very wonderful, very, very wonderful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described in one prayer. आनंद लीलामय विग्रहाय हेमावदिव्या छवि सुंदराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रस प्रदाय चैतन्य चंद्राय नमो नमस्ते. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya. So he is an ocean of ecstasy. He is a very form of ecstasy. Hemava Divya Chavi Sundaraya. His complexion is molten gold, and at the same time is very, very enchanting. And Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya. So he is the very embodiment of Prema Rasa, the highest Prema Rasa. Mahaprabhu is an astounding personality. It says Chaitanya Charitamrita. Can you believe this? Chaitanya Charitamrita says, just by seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I am not saying. Chaitanya Charitamrita is saying you will achieve devotion to Krishna in the mood of the gopis just by seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Wow, wow, how fortunate we are. And yeah, this is the verse. Adhyapi akare lila gaura rai, kona kona bhagyavani dekhi bari pai. So even now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is performing his eternal pastimes, and whoever is fortunate can see those pastimes. So Mahaprabhu would go from door to door, from house to house. He would chant the holy name, and he would not be alone. Why? Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not be alone? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is always in antardasha, in internal consciousness, and that's why in order to do a kirtan, you need some people, someone to play mridanga, someone to play kartal. But Mahaprabhu is always in internal consciousness, so it's difficult for someone who is in that consciousness, internal consciousness, for them to play kartal and play mridanga, it's difficult. So that's why he would call some mad people like Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is the transcendently intoxicated personality, and is the most important of Mahaprabhu's associates. Why? Because Prema Matta Nityananda Kripa Avatar Uttama Adama Kichu Nakare Vichar. This is Prema Matta is completely intoxicated personality. And he has no vichar, he has no consideration. Without such a personality, how is it possible to distribute mercy? You see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, yes, he is very merciful. Suddenly he assumes he behaves like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just like on Jagai and Madai. Jagai and Madai, they came. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very upset. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought a Sudarshan Chakra. Then Nityananda would remind him, my Lord, just I am reminding you, I think you have forgotten. In this age, you are not meant to, in this particular form, you are not meant to kill people. So just imagine, if you had not reminded Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would have killed Jagai Madai. Finish. No question of getting delivered. So that is our situation. Nityananda Prabhu is so expert. He's so expert. He always knows how to trick Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Without Nityananda Prabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, the way it was distributed would not have been distributed. Mahaprabhu is very selective, very, very selective. But Nityananda Prabhu is very intelligent. So one time, Mahaprabhu was taking bath in the Ganga. And then, Nityananda Prabhu took Mahaprabhu's danda. He took the danda. He said, Mr. Danda, who do you think you are? You think you're so important? Let me teach you a lesson. He took it and he smashed it. He broke it into 3 pieces. Mahaprabhu came out. Mahaprabhu said, Nitai, where's my danda? He said, well, I broke it. and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, do you think my sannyas is a joke? Do you think it's a joke? I'm going to Vrindavan now. And I'm not taking anyone with me. Everyone here is mad. Everyone here, has their own desire. I'm a sannyasi, supposed to be grave. I'm supposed to, it's very important. But Nityananda Prabhu said no. And this is just one instance. So many instances. Nityananda Prabhu made Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy freely available to the whole world. To the whole world. Just like another example of Kala Krishna Das. Kala Krishna Das was in a very dangerous situation because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because of whatever unfortunate happenings, Mahaprabhu was not happy with it. Mahaprabhu said, you can go, now I'm not responsible for you anymore. But Nityananda Prabhu was the one to still engage him in the service, to go to Sachi Mata and tell about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan, wanted to go to Vrindavan. Then Nityananda told some boys, when he will come, tell him Vrindavan is in this direction. And he will be so intoxicated, he will just believe him. So Mahaprabhu believed. Then Mahaprabhu was going, and Mahaprabhu saw Yamuna. He said, oh, this is Yamuna. Yes, my lord, this is Yamuna. Then he saw Advaita Acharya. Oh, Advaita, what are you doing here? Oh, my lord, I just heard that you were coming, so I brought some new clothes for you. Nitai, you think my sannyas is a joke? Anyway, so now Mahaprabhu came, so now Mahaprabhu is to reciprocate. So in this way, Nityananda Prabhu is giving Mahaprabhu's mercy to everyone. And also, Nityananda Prabhu also not only gave Mahaprabhu's mercy, but Nityananda Prabhu gave the highest destination himself directly to so many of Mahaprabhu's devotees. Like Nityananda Prabhu appeared in a dream to Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami and ordered him to go to Radha Kund directly. And in the same way, by Nityananda Prabhu's mercy, Raghunath Goswami attained Radha Kund. And so many other devotees also Nityananda Prabhu arranged. So, Jai Shri Radha Gopi Sanavala Tapadan Golda Guru Shri Prabhupada. So, Nityananda Prabhu's mood is very important. What is Nityananda Prabhu's mood? Nityananda Prabhu's mood is no consideration and no consideration of qualification, no qualification. And at the same time, Nityananda Prabhu is not judging anyone, but he himself is very, very humble. Very humble. Like Nityananda Prabhu's mood is also very much observable in Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur, although he is Namacharya, he is an exalted Mahabhava devotee, but he was always outside Gambhira. Mahaprabhu would call him to come to Gambhira, but Haridas Thakur was just rolling on the ground in the dust of all the devotees. When they would say, Mahaprabhu calls him, no, my lord, I'm not qualified. All these devotees are better. I am most simple, I am most wretched. And even though he was chanting 192 rounds, 64 2 pounds of 64 vachik and 64 mentally, even though he was doing this, still he felt so unqualified. And even devotees who are not chanting as much as him or whatever, he would take that dust. This is his quality. This is mood of Nitai's. Absolute humility, absolute humility. Just imagine like Nityananda Prabhu, although he is the Lord himself, he agreed to take a beating from Jagai Mata. Just how deep is that? How merciful is that? And whenever Nityananda Prabhu would go, Shri Shri Radha Govichand Tapan Gauri Chadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Wherever Nityananda Prabhu would go, he would just try to engage people in Krishna consciousness. Even crocodiles were his friends. He would embrace them. He would he would go to the most abound, I mean, shouldn't say abound, I'm very fallen, but people who are performing absolutely simple activities, he would put his hand around them. I want to, no, can we do that? Just go to downtown Plymouth, go into a bar, just put your hand around someone. What will happen? Many times, my time in Chavani Slow used to go in that area for Sankirtan. And if you go, you will get a lot of mercy. Some people started swearing at us too. So, Nityananda Prabhu is too Avadut. So, because of his mood, that's why Mahaprabhu's movement spread like anything. Spread like anything. So, and ultimately, he is so important because his consort, Janma Devi, she was very much responsible for the expansion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, after they left. She was, I mean, she is, because she is an eternal associate of the Lord. She is responsible for giving guidance. She arranged the first Keturi festival and so many important activities she did. So, in this way, this mood is very important. This is our mood. Like, this is Prabhupada's mood. Like my spiritual master said, that when someone was smoking and breaking the regulative principles, Prabhupada told Ramakrishna Maharaj to tell him, or told someone to tell him that if you don't follow, I will reject you. Then Ramakrishna Maharaj asked Prabhupada, will you actually reject him? So Prabhupada said, I cannot reject anyone. So it's actually very painful for a guru when his disciple doesn't follow. He has to go through a lot of problems. Like how difficult is it for us when we go through some health problem? And Prabhupada knows very well who is the cause of it. But still Srila Prabhupada has no problem. So this is our mode. Mode of Nityananda Prabhu is let everyone become pure devotee. Let everyone go back to God. In fact, even better, ultimate mode, Nityananda Prabhu, like Prahlad Maharaj is, let everyone else go back to God and let me rot here. That's the ultimate mode. So, that let everyone enjoy, let everyone be happy. Let me sacrifice for their happiness. So this is a real happiness, right? I am one time, Nansuni Mataji, I think I happened to read her status and she said this famous quote that in giving we receive. So it is very powerful that we sacrifice something for others' happiness, then we receive the greatest happiness in that. So this is God Nitai's mood, chanting the holy name with very deep humility, acknowledging who we are. Like material civilization, they tell you to forget who you are and embrace an artificial position. Oh, I am so great, I am this, I am that, I am that. Okay, but what about all the impurities in the heart? But Mahaprabhu's movement is opposite. You just have to embrace reality. We don't have to run away from who we are. We don't have to become artificial and use that position to cry out for Krishna's mercy. Very simple. And if you just do that, if you are very simple, very honest, you cry for Krishna's mercy, you can melt Krishna's heart in that way and get Krishna's grace, Guru's grace. So, although we are worshipping God Nitya, it's very important for us to understand why we're worshipping, what we're worshipping, and very important for us to hear their pastimes also. Why? Because by hearing their pastimes, by learning about them, we become attracted to them. And when we become attracted to them, then it's not different from becoming attracted to Radha and Krishna. And at the same time, also, when we become attracted to them, we also develop this mood of uh, giving others what we have received. So that's also very important. This mood of serving, this mood of serving people. Like, you know, ultimately what happens when we leave this world, then some people will say, oh, he left. No? Some people will say, he left or she left. It's very unfortunate. And some people will say, it's good that he left. Probably I'll be that. But the point is that only thing which matters is how much we have done for the Lord and how much we have tried to benefit others sincerely, how much they have actually benefited. So if we can just focus on these two things, our time is limited in this world. And the more and more people we can help, more and more people we can serve, then we are actually making use of our life. Otherwise, the sun, the moon, all the planets, all the demigods, all the arrangement of this material world simply reduces our time in this world, and this life becomes meaningless. So, uh, we are very fortunate, and at the same time, we have a great responsibility to share this with people. And the more people we can share, the more we become dear to God Nitai. And I'll just tell one one story. I mean, I've told it before, but I want to repeat it because repetition of good things is a good thing. So Shivaram, His Holiness Shivaram Maharaj mentions this story actually. So it's one devotee in Vrindavan. He was he his guru. He's not an ISKCON devotee, but his guru actually gave him the order to go to Krishna Balram Mandir and be the postman. So he was actually doing that service. So one time went into a very difficult health crisis, and he left his body almost. He was like on the verge of death, can say. But then he came back. So when he came back, Shivara Maharaj, Govinda Maharaj, they asked, one of them asked that, how you came back? What happened? He said, yeah, actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told me that your service to me is not complete yet. So you serve one more year, and after you serve, I will take you into the Leela. So in Shivara Maharaj, who is one of the, in our movement, uh, written so many books on Raj Leela and very deep and very exalted, pure devotee, Mahabhava devotee. But even he says that if you try to approach Radha Krishna directly, without, what does approaching directly mean? Means that not taking the service of the Sankirtan movement seriously. That's what it means. So, of course, we read Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada's books has Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities. And it is absolutely essential to read Prabhupada's books. But the purpose of reading Prabhupada's books is to serve. So by serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will facilitate the attraction to happen. So that's why this service may look material, that's all right, but we are not concerned with whether it's material, what it is, whatever it may seem externally. But the point is, Mahaprabhu is going to be pleased by it. Like if Mahaprabhu is going to be pleased by us doing anything, like then won't we do it? Won't we do it? So Mahaprabhu will be pleased when we help to spread his movement. So when we help to spread his movement, when we have this aching heart aching or heartache, we should have heartache actually, to help others, to bring others. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It demands a lot of tolerance, a lot of patience, a lot of perseverance. It's not easy to help others, but when we take this great responsibility upon our shoulders, then we get Mahaprabhu's mercy. And how is Mahaprabhu's mercy manifested? Mahaprabhu's mercy is manifested in the form of deep taste in Krishna and Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. So that's what Vaishnav Seva, or you can say Mahat Seva, is the key. Is the key. So that's the real way, because unless the heart becomes soft, Krishna cannot enter there. Mahaprabhu cannot enter. So for the heart to become soft, again, Prabhupada says wonderful points about how the heart becomes soft. I'll read that also. Yeah, soft heart means, Prabhupada says, just by seeing a pure devotee, your heart becomes soft. Prabhupada said, by chanting and serving constantly, heart becomes soft. And of course, by not committing offenses, heart becomes soft. So soft heart means it's ready, it's ripe to be stolen by Krishna. To be stolen by Krishna's beauty and Krishna's form, Krishna's name, Krishna's pastime, and Krishna's associates. So everything is available in. We are so fortunate. We are so fortunate that Prabhupada has given us this platform of Krishna consciousness in a very practical way. It's very practical. It's not theoretical. It's very practical. So we are so fortunate, and I am very grateful to Nitai Patita Pavan Gaura Hari for tolerating me, even though I do so many offenses, but they're always so effulgent, so charming, and so merciful. And Gopal Shamara said, just try to touch Mahaprabhu's feet as many times as you can, and go back to God. So yeah, it's very, very powerful, very, very powerful. This is our God Nitai. They are very powerful and at the same time very sweet also. And this is Ekachakra Dham. Ekachakra. So in Ekachakra Dham, the mood is all forgiving. All forgiving. So we want everyone to become Krishna conscious, and we want everyone to develop this deep desire to help others, to pray for others' welfare, to support others spiritually. So we want everyone to develop this mood. And this is the purpose of establishing these deities here. So with this, I will end. Does anyone have any question or comment? I'm sorry, I started a little late today because of the Zoom ID.
I have two questions. One, in the beginning of this, like in the middle, you mentioned mentioning about the different austerities devotees take, either ritual Ekadashi. So that's what I'm trying to say is for devotees who cannot do those austerities or newcomers who cannot do that, but there might be some devotees who are really on that level that they can perform your austerities, correct? So I just wanted to clarify that.
I want to clarify something on austerity too. So the purpose of austerity is to put oneself in a condition to engage more in Shravanam Kirtanam. That's the purpose of austerity. Otherwise, austerity can make one proud, and austerity can just unnecessarily create bodily consciousness. Like, oh, I'm becoming very thin, or I'm not, whatever. And the other thing about austerity also is that it's not that someone who can do more austerity is better. That's also the thing. So it's not like that. So the main thing is, like, again, coming back to what did Prabhupada say. What did Prabhupada said? We honor Ekadashi. Prabhupada said Ekadashi means, Prabhupada did not say Nirjala, but Prabhupada said less eating, sleeping, whatever bodily demands, and more chanting or more serving. That's a simple thing what Prabhupada said. So my point was, we should not enforce standards that Prabhupada did not say. I mean, we can do more, and we can tell devotees about it, but it should not be like a force. And we should not see, oh, this devotee is not doing, means something is wrong with him, because Prabhupada never said that. So we should follow what Prabhupada says. And Prabhupada, whatever Prabhupada said is perfect to go back home, back to Godhead. There is no shortage, no deficiency in what Prabhupada is saying. There's no deficiency. So, of course, we can always do more. But if we study carefully Prabhupada's program, Prabhupada's process, there is no defect. There's no defect at all. And that's why it's so important to read Prabhupada's books, because many times we only know few things Prabhupada said, but we read everything Prabhupada says, we understand Prabhupada's word is complete. And that's the way to maintain, how to say, harmony. So that devotees or husband and wife, whoever, they don't argue. So they just, okay, I have faith on Prabhupada, you have faith on Prabhupada. Finish. What did Prabhupada say? That's the way. Instead of putting, oh, this person did, that person did. So you can do, it's no problem. But the thing is, it should become like a, you have to do kind of thing. Then it unnecessarily creates conflict and unnecessarily. So that's my point.
Especially for who can't do, should not be put down.
Yeah, they
That
should
is
be.
the main key, main. Yes.
The second question, like you were mentioning about Syama and her role in how she could, Mahaprabhu's character. Whom does she represent in this? Is she Revati Devi or she's like,
Yeah, she's actually,
and her role, like?
she's a Ananga Manjari, and she is actually Radharani's younger sister. That's her role in Rasa Leela. But in this mood, in Gaur Leela, what she's doing is she's giving that love of Radha and Krishna to others. That's her mood. So that's why she's very, very important in our Sampradaya. It is said when Jana Mata used to cook, just by eating, people would go into ecstasy and they would faint. Like it is said that when Jana Mata cooked in the first Keturi festival, devotees ate and they just fell on the ground and were in tears. Like, just imagine as the power of Prasadam. Wow. It's like completely changed their con. And to that level, can you imagine that? Imagine you eat a gulab jamun and you faint and you have tears and you're like, you're rolling in the ground. That is the power. And there's not only one person, so many people in the Keturi festival. Everyone is in that condition. So it's always very important to hear about the pastimes of the acharyas. Like our children, they should hear about these pastimes. These things are practical, like it happened. Like the first Keturi festival, Srinivas Acharya was doing the aarti, and of course we should not imitate this. Brahmins on the altar don't imitate, but it's just seeing the deity fainted. Like, wow, this is, and I'm not qualified, I'm sorry, but I mean, this is the reality.
So in this festival only,
Naruto.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah, Chaitanya
everybody-
Mahaprabhu appeared, yeah.
So,
Okay, does anyone have any question or comment on Zoom?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I ask one question? This is Ujjwal Bhakti Devadasi Prabhuji. Yeah. Prabhuji, I have two questions actually. These are silly questions. Jagai and Madai did so much sin, and but later Chaitanya Prabhu gave them mercy. It took all that sin. His body changed to black color, and
Yes.
immediately gave them Krishna Prema.
Yeah.
But we are doing so much. I mean, as far I know, I didn't do that much sin. So, but even though we are begging and then having deities serving, still we are not getting that Krishna Prema. How come they got like instantly? So they did not suffer for whatever the sin they committed. They got Krishna Prema instantly, and then we are suffering so much to get little Prema Bhakti.
Yeah. So the thing is that, in their case, what was their special qualification was, even though they were sinful, but they were not aparadhi. They never committed any aparadh. They never committed any aparadh to any devotee. So what happened is that when they took Nitya, first of all, they caught Nityananda Prabhu's mercy very deeply in their heart. So because they caught very deeply in their heart, so deeply, as a result of that, they got Mahaprabhu's mercy. Now Mahaprabhu gave them Krishna Prem, that's all right. They became ecstatic. Now, the main point is, after that, what did they do? That's very important to study, because we may get, like, we may not get Krishna Prem, but we may get some ecstasy, some tears, or we may get some time. But what they did after that is, next day onwards, they started chanting 120 drums daily. And they became so humble that any Vaishnava would come, they would fall on the ground, roll in the dust, take a stone, give to them, and say, "Here, hit my face." See, just, I'm so sinful, I'm so wretched. I hurt the body of Nityananda Prabhu. I'm so abominable. Please punish me. So they had such intense humility in Vaishnava Seva. So uh, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, to perfect the chanting of the holy name, one of the important qualities is repentance, like repenting that, oh, I committed this offense, that offense, and that intense humility in Vaishnava Seva, when that is combined, then that actually gives rise to quick progress in Krishna consciousness. So it's also possible with devotees. Of course, prem is a different thing. I mean, getting Krishna prem, because prem is a very high stage, and practically those who have prema don't live in this world, who on the high stages of prema. Of course, sometimes this does come down, sometimes pure devotees do, but prema is a very high thing. But at least up to the stage of bhav, and you can say near the highest stages of prema, it's possible to attain. But yeah, so the next point, next consideration is to receive prema also. You need a spiritual maturity. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just repeating my spiritual master's words. To receive prema, one needs very high capacity to hold that prema. So one needs like a spiritual body. Like this Gracial Shuru said, that Krishna actually gives you his love, you will die, because it's so intense. It's so condensed, so intense, you won't be able to take it. So yeah, I mean, intense seva, intense humility, Vaishnava seva. And yeah, like the heart has to first become purified to actually receive it. Like even if we receive it, we cannot hold it unless we have that kind of consciousness. So yeah, so it's possible. It's very much possible. But yeah, again, we have to see also what Jagai and Madhai did after they got the mercy. Like chanting 120 rounds in very humble mood, they were serving very intensely. They were serving. So yeah, if someone does that, or you're all more exalted, then you're not qualified to answer this question. But yeah, if someone does that, definitely, like, see, we see that devotees in our movement were very exalted, were very advanced. They have the same opportunity as us. Next, we see Prabhu is there. Many devotees are there who have attained mercy. So they practice this thing very seriously. They don't commit offense. And most important thing also is they don't associate with materialistic people. So they are very careful, very strict. So they achieve mercy very quickly.
But probably one could argue, right? One could argue on the same point that Jagai Madhai were able to do all those things after attaining Krishna Prema is because they got Krishna Prema.
No, so they were able to do because they got it. But at the same time, they are also teaching us. They're teaching us that what is the symptom of someone who's actually achieved prema. Like, purpose of prema is serving. Purpose of prema is actually serving the Lord. So Krishna will see, actually, Krishna will give us some mercy. We'll see what we will do with that mercy. Like, are we just sleeping with that mercy and just feeling good about that mercy, or are we increasing ourselves, pushing ourselves? If you're not pushing ourselves and we get mercy, then actually Krishna will not give more mercy.
The point I was trying to make was that ability to perform those activities after achieving Krishna Prema is just because of Krishna Prema. Is that something?
No, that's true. That's true. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is that we may not be able to chant 128 rounds, I mean, I know devotees who do that, but the point is that whatever little we can do, if we do that, that's my point. So Jagai Mada separate, because see, Jagai Mada, they actually came in this world to perform pastime and they wanted to go back. So they are different. We cannot equate ourselves with Jagai and Madai. And at the same time also, they had the good fortune of taking birth in Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And they were embraced by Nityananda Prabhu, which means, what is that? So we cannot discount that. They were embraced by Nityananda Prabhu, actually embraced by Nityananda Prabhu physically, like actually they were embraced. So that's a different point. But definitely it's possible. It's possible to, I mean, eventually, I mean, I'm speaking based on pure devotees' words, and it's true that it is possible that day by day you can elevate. It's possible. And yeah, like I said, devotees are there who are exalted, who are ecstatic. Mataji, is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Can I ask a second question, Prabhuji, if you don't mind?
Yes.
Okay, second thing again, when animals saw Chaitanya Prabhu, they were so ecstatic,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And but so many humans did not feel that when they saw Chaitanya Prabhu, they did not even understand Chaitanya Prabhu was Supreme Personality of Godhead. But we consider animals as lower species. So how that happened, Prabhuji? Can you explain?
So yeah, in the Jharkhand forest, see, actually you can say, human beings, the main problem not being attracted to Krishna is actually envy in the heart. And it's not that animals don't have any anarthas, but the thing with animals is that because of their condition, like animals, they before basic activities, they don't know whether we'll get the next food. So in that helpless condition, it's easier for them to actually accept the mercy. And also two things, animal birth, one thing is there's no karma. There's no karma because they're in helpless condition. There's no karma. They're not under, you can say, sinful reactions. And also, they don't commit Vaishnava Aparadh. So if you don't do these two things, then advancement is very easy. Like suppose someone says, yeah, Prabhu, I have no karma, no karmic reaction. And I cannot do any aparadh. I don't do any aparadh. Of course, you can do it, but again, that's rare. That's rare because even if like some animal harms a devotee, yeah, from his side he's harming a devotee, but animal doesn't know that he's actually harming a devotee. He's unconsciously doing. But in humans, still we know perfectly he's a devotee. Is still it's happening. So not much aparadh. Anyway, they live in the forest. They're far away from Vaishnavas and serious Vaishnav, practicing Vaishnav. And at the same time, they don't have karma working on them. Of course, they have manual body, all right, but not like human beings. The way karma works on us, sinful reaction. So for them, it doesn't work like that. So because of these two reasons, again, Mahaprabhu embraced them. Mahaprabhu gave them mercy, but then again, because of that they were able to take it. So that's the point. So always there are two aspects. It's taking mercy. Yes, mercy is given, but then are you accepting? Like for example, you go in front of the deities. Yes, you are getting mercy. Undoubtedly, you're getting mercy. But the question is, how much are you able to accept that mercy? That's the real question. So that's very important, and that's why Krishna knows everything. What you're doing after you get the mercy, what you're going to do with the mercy. So depending on what you do with the mercy, Krishna will give more mercy, decide to give. Someone who's really trying very hard, whatever mercy is gotten, is trying more and more and more. Then Krishna will say, okay, so he's trying more, so I'll give more. He's trying more, I'll give more. I'm speaking for myself. You are all more exalted than me, more senior than me.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Like, okay, I'm really sorry it became very late today. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavibhyo namo namah.
ki jai. Shri Shri Bhagavan Kaur Hari Divine Avirbhav Mahamotsav ki jai. We're celebrating on
Jai.
Sunday. And yeah, so I please bless me that I can develop their mood and become their sincere devotee and serve Radha and Govinda Vallabh under their shelter. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you. Dhaन्यवाद.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Pranams.